I mean, it's perfectly cast. It's well acted. There's so many gamer moments of recognizing things.
Gamer moments usually a bad thing.
Everyone, everyone's realizing what I've known for a long time was Walton Goggins is a fantastic character actor. Man, I love him so much.
Oh, he's the ghoul?
Yeah,
Ah.
that is just a small drop in a whole bucket full of drugs. Yeah, I absolutely love him. And yeah, so I've played hundreds of hours of Fallout, and I love it. It's great. I can't wait to see where it goes next. It's awesome.
Did you play the first one? Because I didn't know it existed. Like for me, Fallout has always been I've never played any of them, but like just from consuming media, it's been the first person.
Yeah, no, I didn't play the isometric ones like the early PC.
It looks.
ones.
It reminds me of like StarCraft. Like that entire era of games
exactly.
was like pre-rendered, but it felt 3D. But it also had this like horrific, almost like kind of creepy stop motion vibe to it.
No, that's that was an era of games like Red Alert, Command and Conquer, and stuff where you could have movies and animations interspersed with this like isometric movement, and it's still.
It's like it almost is better
when you
than
played
games
it.
that came out a little bit later. Like the early 2000s games look shittier than some of the late 90s and 90s games because they they just like figured out how to make it look good because they couldn't do it.
Exactly.
That it was that old back.
Yeah, I didn't know
I
either.
used to play another game called Arcanum, and I think it was made by the same company, like Weary.
Yeah. Well,
something.
Larian, that's Baldur's Gate.
No, it wasn't that then. It was
Obsidian?
Obsidian?
Obsidian did New Vegas and some other stuff.
No,
Arcanium?
Arcanum. It's like it's a steampunk. There's like magic and machinery, and you can either like go down one of these other paths.
Dude, anything that looks like that,
this game
I
was
love
sick.
that.
This game was great.
In the same vein, a game that I still play with my brother.
Troika. Yeah, I think this is who made the first Fallout too.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Oh wait, is that the wizard one where you like you could play it
turn boys? It's turn-based movement, and you build up your armies.
That sounds like a game that they would make up for like the nerds in a sitcom to talk about.
Oh no, Tim Kaine I think is the guy that did both.
It's literally
There's
called
some connection there.
Heroes of Might and Magic. I guess it's not up
Dude,
there.
it's legendary. It's legendary. It's so good. And it had its multiplayer was hot seat. So with your brother or whatever, you would get in the chair, he'd do all of his movement, and then he'd get up and sit down. These old games.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I remember this.
Oh yeah.
This game was sick.
Yeah, it was great. I
didn't play like any of these.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was StarCraft, I was Diablo.
That's all I had with StarCraft.
I still play Diablo. I played Diablo yesterday.
Never played that one.
Yeah,
Warcraft, Frozen Throne, but it was only the multiplayer custom games.
Well, so I was in Shanghai, China. Because my dad was over there, to be closer to him. And so me and my brother would get taxied to a internet cafe, and my brother and I would play StarCraft 1 in a smoke-filled, strange, 100 stranger Chinese guy room and just play StarCraft all day until someone picked us up.
They were probably that too, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Well, that was all land, so you could connect to people inside of the. Yeah, that was a weird.
I love the like the sort of picture.
You're probably really good at
like
StarCraft.
I know.
Your parents' relationship with their kids. Get them out.
Oh yeah, within 2 years, my parents separated and we moved back.
Wow.
Thanks for bringing that up.
At least you had StarCraft.
I did have StarCraft. Yeah.
I was gonna say that is the positive spin on it. You got to play a shit ton of video games.
And to this day, I know a confusing amount about competitive StarCraft 1 and 2. I actively watch all of the active tournaments. So ASL, GSL, and those are, I got into that through Day9's brother. He's Tasteless Online. He does casting with a guy called Artosis. And so they're like the only English-speaking casters, the big ones. And so I don't play StarCraft anymore, but I could tell you a lot about modern competitive StarCraft for no reason. I don't know. It's something I put on in the background. It's like, hey, you want to watch 5 hours of RTS in the background while you crank it or whatever else you're doing?
I don't know anything about Day 9. I was Eskimo Brothers with the guy who Day 9 rented his room from in college.
So you rub noses?
I would like.
making
I would
stuff
like.
up.
No,
Is he-
Can we elaborate
Are
on
you
this?
making
What is?
stuff?
No, the like
I thought I was having a stroke. What is an Eskimo, brother?
I think that means. Well, I actually think that's for Alan to explain.
Like, are you talking
Yeah.
about like a sandwich?
I thought that was a common term because I don't want to explain it out loud. But look,
An
it's
Eskimo,
on the
bro.
screen. It's
Men
on the
who have
screen.
sex with the same partner at different. What?
It's like.
It is sometimes considered offensive. Oh shit. Well, I was not under the impression that it was offensive.
No, because of the term. The term we don't use.
Oh, because Eskimo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's.
I
mean,
wait,
it is
so-
offensive
so
to
it
me
just means
because it
when did this
sounds.
happen?
It just
gross.
means they're like they're gay, right?
No, it means.
No. They're sharing the same. Part.
It's like I shook Jeff Bezos' hand, and then you shook my hand. I am in the middle. You and Jeff Bezos are Eskimo brothers.
no, it's
except
like,
instead of
no,
shaking.
it's like if you're both fucking his wife.
Not at the same time though.
Not-
It's a different.
Not at the
Not
same time, at different
periods of
different
time.
periods
Right.
of time. Yeah.
It's like it has. It's not really a bad connotation. It's just more funny.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
It
Yeah,
is-
so day 9,
it's
I didn't know who he was. I like learned later.
It is
that he was
offensive
like
in
a
that
terrorist or
you're
whatever.
associating that with Inuit people, I guess.
because it's usually like Eskimo giver, right? That's
No,
like,
it's Indian different.
Can we not say like Cleveland Steamer either? What? So we can't say Cleveland Steamer?
Did he say Indian and you just thought Cleveland Indians and then that was a thing?
Bro,
I
their
was just
branding
saying
is
like,
so
like
good.
tying things to make slang like Urban Dictionary.
oh, okay.
Like it's Eskimo Brothers is
Guys,
like
are you
an
not
Urban
understanding that the problematic part is the racial component of what you're saying?
Not the fact that it stands for having sex with somebody else that somebody else had sex
No,
with.
no, that's not.
It's that.
It's the
Eskimo.
fact
I'm not
that-
saying there's not a problem here. I
It's
just
the
think
fact
that
that
problem
Kevin
is
is,
that it's
is officially
Eskimo.
trying to bring back Indian giver as a
Yeah.
term. That's the
That one's
Indian part.
also
is
supposed
the-
to be
These
bad.
are deep-seated childhood things
They
that
are.
we're not condoning. or
All
saying-
traditions are valid at all times.
No, we're just saying that. Like,
love
it's a
bullfighting.
term-
Can we bring
out the Confederate flag?
It's offensive to the point where I think it's okay to talk about. Like, I don't think any of this will be cut from the podcast, but we are acknowledging that, like, yeah, it's a term that I like. Indian giver. I heard that growing up. I know it's bad. I don't use it, but like
that
it's
was
a-
like
yeah, you don't
that
say
doesn't
that
exist.
anymore.
You give it to somebody and then take it back.
Yes.
Yes.
I think when you're a kid, though, you have no fucking idea.
Yeah,
you have no
idea.
I still don't really understand
I don't understand what's the bad part
Where did
about
it
it.
come
I think the implication
it's
is that
when we manifest destiny over
Yes.
them, we got this impression of them as people and what they did, and it was a derogatory thing.
But they would, like, the idea
No,
is,
but
like,
that
you
means
give
that we're-
somebody something
we're
and then you
the-
demand it back.
That's
right?
like us. That's what we did to them.
It's a bad term that is associated with
I don't,
an
really,
ethnic
I don't
group.
really know what it means.
yeah. Like,
It doesn't, but you know what it means now.
like did Indians? Did they?
It's not cool if I gave you a birthday present and then 2 days later it's like, you know what? I spent too much money on that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
take it back.
but why
Why
would
does
they-
it have to do with Indians?
Yeah, why would what did the
Because
Indians
that-
do? What did they do to deserve this?
Like, what does
why
That's
it's
the
bad.
point. That's why it's bad.
Oh.
You're describing the badness because we came up with a term for Native Americans of what they did.
Then what about Cleveland Steamer? What does shitting on
What is
somebody
a
have to do
Cleveland
with? It's
steamer?
when you, like, crap on somebody.
I've
Oh,
never
that's
done
'cause
that.
that's-
I've never done
What does it have to do with Cleveland?
Well, because if you live in Cleveland,
These
you're
things are
gonna
not
have
equivalent.
shit on it.
These things are
Why do
not
they call it, like,
equivalent.
the San Francisco
involving
steamer?
defecating on someone's chest and sitting in it and rolling back and forth.
Because that's what it feels like to live in Cleveland, in Ohio. That's why they call it that.
You should ask Peter.
Yeah.
Peter Shreve will know why it's called. Like,
I'm already exhausted.
So when
but yeah, Day 9 used to live in a room
Oh, okay, yeah,
that he rented from a guy who used to date a girl that I dated after him. And so, you know, I was in close contact with him. I just catch this on like a live stream, which is like the producer, whoever was talking, you could see the fucking like Luke. You could see like the light in his eyes like disappear as he
Yeah.
realized like, oh my career's over. Oh wait, it's okay. So basically Linus kept talking about how like, oh yeah, when I was younger I used to throw around the hard R. You know, just
yeah,
like
and-
throw around the
and-
hard R and
yeah.
say it was okay. Yeah, well, yeah, you can see him like Luke is dying. And it eventually kind of they reached understanding after a torturous maybe like 120 seconds.
No, I think it was shorter than that, but it feels like 100
Yeah,
seconds.
but that
So what was he?
he meant like the word to disparage like mentally disabled people and not the word to black people, and somehow it was like a relief that meant that word and not this word.
Oh, hard R.
They thought he meant the N-word.
Got it.
He's like,
Yes,
use it all the time.
Yeah.
You know? Like, all the time. Me and my friends.
Okay, yeah, I
It
can
was,
see
it was
that.
the 90s. It was a different time. We used the hard R, like it was nothing. And now we know better. And the whole time.
See, my first, that wouldn't be where my head went to first if I heard hard R all the time.
That is.
Yeah.
I guarantee that is something that every night before I go to bed, that's what would be in my mind, and I would not be able to fall asleep for like 3 hours.
Is the time on a live talk, live stream. You talked about how you would say the hard R all the time.
Oh my
just
God.
to see yourself self-immolate in real time.
It's so like kind of
like that guy in front of the Trump trial.
Yeah,
Jeez.
if you could, if there was a Linus Tech Tips stock value,
We
you
all
could
saw
watch
the
in
video,
real
all right?
time.
It's horrifying.
I did not actually.
I watched. I
purposely
saw the
did
one
not.
that was like this far away.
Really?
Oh, Jesus.
I saw one video one time in my life of somebody burned to death, and I avoid those videos.
Yeah, no, they ruin you.
It's not good. It's actually the one that's bad.
Yeah, one of the worst things. Yeah, there's a couple of videos that have.
There's like 2
actively
people that did that recently
harmed me.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was the guy protesting
Israel.
Israel, Hamas, and then outside of Trump Tower. That guy, no.
That guy was just
The
crazy.
Trump trial. That guy was insane.
Yeah.
I think anybody that lights
they're
themselves on fire is a little crazy.
Yeah,
It's one way to make. It's one way to make a statement.
The guy that set himself on fire outside of the Trump trial thought that the Simpsons were brainwashing us to be stupid.
Yes, I did read some of his material.
Yeah.
And it
That honestly seems pretty.
it had no it had no contact with reality.
Yes.
Okay, if you watch The Simpsons, pretty smart show sometimes.
Used to be.
Yeah.
It's very smart.
Yeah. It's really like
Yeah, that was like he went over all of that in the
Really?
Yeah. He's like,
Oh,
they were all smart. They went to like Stanford and MIT, and then they
That's
created,
why they know.
the writers made this show. Yeah, they like made it as good as possible. Yeah, like whatever. Like they cracked the code.
We could go back to the good old Mythbusters.
That well is dry.
Oh,
I got nothing else to say.
We could milk that well. Is that what they say?
They can
drier.
milk that well.
I mean, I think I brought up Fallout because it seemed like a pretty good conversation starter.
It was good for
I
me.
don't remember how we
Have you
fucking.
seen, I thought of you the other day in your stupid shirt that you're wearing right now, because I don't know if
This
you
one is going to be an exclusive at
I don't know if
Open
you-
Sauce.
I don't know if-
because
I don't know if
we
you saw
can't
this.
fucking Sell these
Did
online
you see
yet.
this? Like some company in India bought the rights to the video archive of Mythbusters, and they're posting full episodes on YouTube.
In English?
Yes. What? Full English
Like high
episodes on
quality?
YouTube.
Wait. How?
That
They're
seems
how much
like
they're
an
posting all of
cost?
it.
How much? Did
I don't
they
know.
pay?
It starts with a B. It's like BE something. I can't remember what it is, but they're posting full episodes on YouTube. So like
feel
search Mythbusters full episodes.
So Warner Discovery couldn't be
And
bothered
I-
to fucking upload the episodes themselves, and they'd rather sell the
So
rights.
so
to the
try to find the name. So no, they're a company that buys the rights to stuff. I looked it up. No, that's Mythbusters. No, go back. It's specifically hosted by a company that is not Mythbusters.
It might be against
There it is.
agreement they
There it is. There it is. So they're posting episodes in full.
Does it make you feel better that you still have that movie?
No, but those are episodes in full.
Yeah.
They're like high quality. The only ones that get time sizes are like rips
I
from
bet they
VHS
do
tapes.
better if they had better.
No,
thumbnails.
the Mythbuster Discovery has started posting them.
I think that this could very well be like a violation of the agreement they have for publishing and stuff. Because a lot of times it has to be like geo. We're like they probably technically geolog it to India, and they haven't done it. And I wouldn't be surprised if. I mean, they're like
by
actually,
pointing it out.
because you're like, I mean, after the whole, them letting the trademark lapse, like they're clearly not on top of their shit. I would not be surprised. Dude, the mergers. Remember when like Machinima got destroyed because they like couldn't figure out how to deal with that bug, like the copyright stuff. And so I think Warner blocked it, right? Was that? Yeah. And so they like killed. They like basically privated every video and just got rid of the bots like enormous things.
And then like they bought HBO too. They bought HBO, and then they like got rid of there used to be HBO Max. They got rid of that. Now it's just Max. They got rid of half of the shows on there too. Dude, Warner Bros.
Discovery
Are you
bought
kidding me? They own like everything. Like it's them and Disney basically, right?
I don't understand. It's like
Wait,
crazy,
do they
right?
own
No.
Disney at the? I don't know.
No.
No.
Well, we're under Disney. Disney owns us. Nobody believes that.
God bless Mickey Mouse. May his copyright remain intact for 1,000 years.
May his cock for
All
be
hail.
long.
All hail the mouse.
Not the Steamboat Willie version though. We lost that one.
Yeah.
But
That
God rest his soul.
the color version that has the pink skin. May his image be protected for
eternity.
Yeah, for all time. For all time.
You have to
Trademark
say
forever
that.
be.
You have to recite that every morning, or else you get shot.
I pledge allegiance to the mouse.
No, I heard that there was like a tongue-in-cheek chant that like the interns at the engineering part of Disney.
Imagineering.
Yeah, Imagineering. They had like this morning
Cringineering.
chant that they would do. They go, "Feed the mouse, feed the mouse."
That's good.
It's kind of like a fun,
Sarcastic.
little- yeah.
Get to work.
Say it again. Say it again.
I'm almost there. I'm close.
Why are you good at making that sound? Why can you do
I've done
the
it before.
Mickey Mouse coming sound?
I've done
That's
it.
his actual. That's the Kyle Hill coming.
Yeah.
That's not the Mickey Mouse.
Transit like right if you squeeze at the right times.
Yeah.
Oh, and then.
That was great. Do you want me to call you an Uber or something? Get out. Get out. Bye-bye.
It sounds like Goofy.
Bye-bye.
Gar.
Why don't you get out of here?
I hope you're
So,
enjoying your time in
Kyle,
Imagineering.
Here's a paper towel for your back.
How do you feel about the portrayals of nuclear power in shows like Fallout that have this
Fallout's-
pop culture appeal?
What a responsible and professional transition.
Yeah, wow, that's great.
I just
Nice- nice
I
transition.
didn't see a way out of what we were doing. I didn't see a path out.
Speaking
of
of
where we
coming,
were.
what do you think about Fallout and nuclear?
Fallout takes a different tack because it first stipulates that you have fusion, miniaturized fusion. So when you see
Right,
those
right,
fusion
right.
cores,
Yellow
that's
black things.
that's nuclear fusion miniaturized, and so you don't have the same issues that nuclear portraying media usually has, where they have cooling towers and the reactors.
Yeah,
and
in Fallout, it
all
makes
of that
you,
is
it's
all
very
that is-
convenient.
It makes you immortal in Fallout.
Yeah.
The radiation makes you immortal.
Yeah, no, Fallout, like all great sci-fi universes, I think, bend one rule in physics or so, and in Fallout, that's miniaturized fusion. So once you have that, you basically have unlimited power. You can have power armor, cars that live forever, etc. But so in that respect, it's fine. The last episode, I won't ruin it for you, but it does rely on a technology that's not as fine. Not bad in a way, just doesn't make as much sense. But most shows and media get nuclear power. Well, they just lean into the scariness of it. Where if they really knew how scary everything else is, it wouldn't seem. It wouldn't be such a focal point. Like The Simpsons or something.
At this point, I actually don't know nuclear power. Like, just kind of like all over.
I sense. I sense a. Kind of, it is very good. I mean,
Okay.
Like without a doubt, nuclear power epic.
it's the numbers are very easy on this. I mean,
I'm big on nuclear.
Think nuclear?
oh yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah, full
That's why it's so confusing. That's like you guys have like
We don't need control rods where we're going.
you're very confident in nuclear power being good, but it's like that. It's almost confusing to me that it's like it should be that obvious, but I honestly don't know why.
When we laugh about it or they make jokes about it, it's because low-hanging fruit, just the numbers are very clear. So, for example, the number of people that have been, let's say,
Falling off of wind
Mutated
turbines.
into immortality.
become a nice little ghoul. But the number of people who have died as a direct result of nuclear accidents is below 50. Whereas
Wait, that includes like Chernobyl and
Yes.
3 Mile Island. And
yes, no one died.
Fukushima
No one
and-
died after 3 Mile Island.
Huh.
There is statistically not one case of cancer, and if you look into it, and we're engineers. If you look into it for any amount of time, it's very obvious. But there's so much misinformation around these things that it's easy to lean into the fear. Whereas, to give you the counterexample of 50 people in the history of nuclear dying in accidents, if you averaged out the number of people that will die as a result of air pollution from fossil fuels, it's about 1 person every 6 seconds.
Or that have just fallen off of wind turbines. I'm sure
Yes, that's also very true. And it's non-trivial how you dispose of wind turbines. It's non-trivial how you dispose of photovoltaic cells.
Yeah.
Spin them
and
fast
things like
enough
that.
and then let go the blades as they're approaching their upward velocity, and they'll go
Straight into space.
I mean, I don't care.
7.2
about
kilometers
that.
per second.
As long as you're trying to like make progress and something else to do, like I'm all for wind turbines.
How
No,
cool would it be? to
yeah,
have
Well,
explosive bolts
the
on a
argument has
turbine?
never been nuclear only.
Yeah.
It's a way. It is a valid, safe way to transition away from fossil fuels, and it's the most energy dense thing that we have.
And it's like, you know how people try to dunk on like wind energy by like, oh yeah, but you still gotta get rid of the blades and like, you gotta recycle the fiberglass. Or like
say that?
Oh yeah, they think they're so smart.
I just said that because
No.
I think what you're getting at
Yeah.
is that when you're at that level of argument,
Exactly.
you're ignoring like Exxon Valdez oil spill.
Yeah.
Like the two things are not equivalent.
You can tell.
Oh, what do you do with the
someone has
nuclear waste?
No fucking idea what they're talking about.
I was in Washington D.C. like 2 weeks ago talking to like the Department of Defense about this, and they said, do you know how much
Bill Nye
space?
wasn't available.
I
They
think.
got a discount store brand Bill Nye.
Okay, first of all, fuck you.
Hey man, at least you're on the fucking shelf.
Discount knockoff. Yeah, we're in the fucking.
Second of all, I'm technically more educated.
Yes. Let's go.
I mean, that doesn't matter, but if you want to play that,
Yes, let's play.
I have more expertise in this space.
Title thumbnail.
But if
No, Bill Nye thumbnail again.
so I asked, how much space would you need to store all of the nuclear waste in the United States? And they said about 3 Walmarts worth of square footage.
Yes. Walmart or regular Walmart.
You are missing it. You're talking about a large stadium parking lot could store all of the nuclear waste ever generated in the United States.
Think of how much
and
coal you could fit in that parking lot.
At least
What I like to
4.
what I like to say is where is nuclear waste? And you point at the casks, you point at the spent fuel pools. It's right there. Where is fossil fuel pollution?
In my ass and lungs.
Right in there.
My blood.
And unlike nuclear waste, stuff like mercury and things, byproducts and used in the production of fossil fuels, mercury is toxic forever. Those
Right.
things are toxic forever.
The rune of death is unbound. And the lands between are shrouded by death's dark fate. But the flames will also burn the impenetrable thorns. Farewell it is then. You'll be Elden Lord yet.
where nuclear waste by definition is not.
But isn't it still bad for like thousands of years?
Depending on the waste. But again, it's so easily contained and stored, you can literally just put it in a parking lot forever and nothing is going to happen.
I love
and
how
it's not liquid, it's not goo, it's vitrified, so it's glass and rock, or it's just the fuel rods and the fuel pellets, and it's encased in containers that literally can resist airplane impact.
Yeah.
I love we as a society just picked like a canyon in a mountain to throw all our trash in as a landfill.
That would have been
but then
so
everyone
easy. Everyone
like
got
gets
so
up in arms
scared.
about nuke. It's like
They have no idea. I don't blame them. It's the bad PR around it where you
Right.
think anything a kilometer underground, anything is going to be harmless there.
Yeah.
It could have been, a fucking bomb.
Yeah, even Jeffrey
and it
Epstein.
still wouldn't have harmed your little community or whatever.
Right.
So it's and this is what I said to the people in DC. It's like there's a gulf of understanding here where people they can't get on the same page because they're not even in the same book.
What do you think it would take to change people's perception of nuclear energy?
Well, that's the weird thing is like when I try to keep my ear to the ground, even like with memes, I have started to see more pro-nuclear memes from in every format, from SpongeBob to whatever the new thing is.
like nuclear meme propaganda.
Yeah.
No,
Could
no,
that
but-
just be
but-
AstroTurf?
No,
Like-
no, I don't think so, because the people who work in these communication departments.
Girls with 3 boobs.
No, seriously.
Hey.
So seriously, like the people who work in the communications departments of these plants, and I've talked to some of them, they do want to get the word out there, but because they're in these big corporations, they can't really do the fun stuff. It's the
Right.
same like NASA.
Yeah.
Have you ever been contacted like, oh, come to one of our social media events?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, all the
and-
time, bro.
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
And but you can almost do nothing and say
Yeah.
nothing fun or interesting.
Oh, unless you're destined, because then you can tell them that they're wrong. They're not going to invite him
We're
back.
not smarter every day.
Sassier
though.
every day.
Yeah.
He has the mildest of takes. All right. he has a milk toast take. He's a milk anyway.
Hey, that's why he gets more views than all of us.
Hey, cool. There's a gun in a pool and you put two together. Congratulations.
I was the
if
pool.
I was smart enough to do that, I would fucking do that.
He really is
Did the pool
smarter.
survive?
Yeah, the pool survived. He's a great guy. He's very smart. But when you see a meme out in the world, like a pro-nuclear meme, that means it went through some process of natural selection on the internet, and that some amount of people are like, yeah, that's funny, that's good. And I see more and more of that kind of talk. And so I sense some weird kind of change, at least in young people, where they get that it's safe. And they get that Chernobyl and Fukushima is kind of a red herring.
Yeah.
But to close the gap to make it like politically viable.
Do you think they actually get it, or is it some like kind of young stubbornness? Because I feel like there is a level of defiance of like this boomer generation.
No,
being like
when you
anti-nuclear.
check the comments, and I do because I'm in this universe now. It's a lot of people are like, yeah, if you look into it, XYZ. I did a school project on this. The statistics are actually this.
Right.
Blah 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 blah. I think they do have an understanding that it's safe and viable. It is. It seems.
I feel like that's always been around, though, and it's just the politicians who use it as like a tool to.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
think there might be some like some.
Well, Germany just finished shutting down all of the reactors in the
right,
country.
so for
yeah.
being so progressive,
Yeah,
they're
yet
so
they
scared
fucking
of.
make cars without turn signals.
Well,
Wait, they do?
Yeah, the BMWs don't have turn signals.
The Germany situation is slightly more. I was in Germany in May filming about this, and it's slightly more complicated because Germany has a hundreds of years of coal mining history. They have lots of natural gas. The political will to transition to all green energy. They're saying we can do it without nuclear.
I want red
So it's not
energy.
like
I want black
it's not like nuclear is the worst thing in the world. They're saying it's more like, are you cutting your?
No, there's like a little. It's been bothering me, like a little string that's been hanging off.
Fuck is going on over here?
I don't know. I just whip out a knife and I
He's
start.
like cutting his balls.
Jesus.
Dude, it's been bugging me for like the past
your
two
pants or on the
podcasts.
chair?
On the chair.
It's-
Just like big long
this
hair
is
like
just
that
Kevin's
long.
brain is how his brain works.
Might as well
And
slice
This is why you
one
cannot
slice.
put Kevin in the
You can
control
have
room
it.
of the nuclear reactor.
I want to see how far that baby can go.
So the Germany situation's more complicated because they want to be 100% renewable and meet the climate goals of 2050.
They don't even need
but
nuclear.
They think they don't need nuclear as much as some other countries. So even there, it's a little complicated. And the engineers I talked to are like, yeah, we think it's crazy not to use nuclear, but that's beside the point.
But you know, the public, it's been spun to them like it's not safe. Not because
Like, but what do you think is bad about what? Okay, I say wind turbines. What's the bad thing about them?
No,
No. But what are they? Birds.
Yeah.
When you say
Oh,
like
yeah,
solar,
okay.
what's the bad thing about solar?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Recycling.
It's expensive.
It's been a long while, Morgoth. Long and hard didst thou fight, tarnished warrior, spurned by the grace of gold. Be assured the Elden Ring resteth close at hand. Alas, I am returned. To be granted audience once more. Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
Our initial carbon
Sure.
footprint.
When you say nuclear, what's the bad thing about nuclear?
Chernobyl.
Right. What's actually the bad thing about turbines? Like, is it fucking birds?
Yeah.
Dude, fuck the birds. You got any birds we kill every year?
Yeah.
On purpose? We literally farm them
It's-
to murder them. What the hell is a couple birds running into a wind turbine mean to me?
You know that we've lost over 60% of the birds in the past like 50 years. Yeah,
That's thankful.
they're just gone. Like the
When's
birds are
last time-
gone.
Yeah, like when's the last time you saw?
Yeah. When's the last time you
yeah.
seen a lightning bug?
Bugs are gone.
Do you remember driving across the country and your windshield being covered
Yeah,
in
no,
bugs?
it's a mass
I
extinction.
remember running into a bunch of bees. I have not run into
That happened to me.
I haven't run into a
That was
herd
the
of bees
last.
in a
That was the
long time.
last.
That was the last piece.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I hit it with my bike, and it was a flock of bees in the middle of
Herd
like
of bees.
on a sidewalk,
Yeah.
nowhere near flowers or hives. And so when I hit them, I felt.
That will be all. Thou didst me good service, Sirosh. I've given thee courtesy enough. Now I fight as Horaloo. Warrior!
like little ping pong balls. If you were driving along a road in SoCal and you heard a guy go, bees? Like in a questioning sense? Because I was like, why the hell is there a flock of bees here? That was me.
Oh, okay, that was you.
Because I was so confused. Why am I hitting a bunch of bees out here? No, I take your point. Like the scale. So I call it. I recently came up with, my analogy is like nuclear has the airplane crash problem.
Yeah.
Where airplane crashes almost never happen, almost nobody dies ever. Like last year, I think there were 0 airplane-related commercial deaths. But because an airplane crash is so visceral, you remember it, you focus on it. It could have happened 40 years ago.
Every time you get in the plane, you're like, "This is the one."
Yeah, exactly. And everyone,
let's go.
Everyone's terrified about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't realize 40,000 people a year die on roads.
Right.
And we have all accepted that as a consequence of getting around.
Yeah.
So I think people need to be reminded of the car crash problem for fossil fuels, where it kills 5 million people a year, and we have chosen to forget about it.
I feel
but
like
if you put it up against nuclear power, it's car crash versus airplane.
No one
It's
actually
not
cares,
even
though.
close
It
to the
doesn't.
same.
It doesn't
event.
even
Just
blow up like a
entertainment.
bomb. It just kind of like smokes, and you have to
Airplanes?
just walk away from the smoke.
Which
power
one?
plants?
Oh, if the
nuclear?
if a meltdown happens.
One did.
Which one?
Well, did one actually go
Fukushima?
off like a bomb?
Oh, no, not like a nuclear bomb. No,
Oh, okay.
that's impossible. But yeah, Chernobyl did explode.
Yeah.
But that was
Like
different.
local.
But yeah, so like, I've done a lot of videos and stuff about this. But even then, even in the event of a meltdown, it is now agreed upon by Japanese scientists that more people died as a result of evacuating Fukushima.
Mm-hmm. In cars.
No, just elderly people who had to leave their homes, hospital patients.
Right.
Being away from your home for 10 fucking years led to more deaths,
Stress.
I
I didn't know that they were still evacuated.
more social isolation, more suicide rates. Then
Still evacuated 10 years later.
But
That's
even like the idea of like
there's still
getting
areas.
in a car,
There's a
and
lot of
driving.
a lot of areas are open, but
a little spicy
What's
still.
do we know the statistic on like deaths per like 1,000 miles driven? Like every day in Los Angeles, how many people die in like a car accident?
oh yeah, I mean
Like
Thousands.
Like, did more people die? Like,
Thousands.
it better be. If the
God.
traffic's this bad, somebody better have died. Like, what is it? Passenger
there's-
death rates. How is this broken out?
0.6 per what?
100 million.
Control
tiny
scroll
text.
first.
0.6 per. Oh.
It's 10 per mile driven.
12.9
13.
deaths
It's-
per
it's-
100,000 people. 1.37 deaths per
Is it every
100
year?
million
100 million
miles.
miles.
But that's cumulative. That's not per capita of driver.
Okay.
But
Just look in
your-
LA. How many people
But
die?
your point
Right.
is that, like, look, I'm on the more conservative, skeptical end of how many people actually died as a result of Chernobyl
Right.
To a
and
year.
Fukushima. Because
I mean, two a month.
What's,
no, 2 a day.
2 a day?
2 a day.
what's
In Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Oh, because 622
Yeah.
people died.
Right. Wait, so like when you think of it like that,
862.
like
Year.
if something happened in Fukushima and like what? How many people died over that thing from the nuclear accident?
I
versus
would-
how many people died from just driving? Like there's
Yeah.
a chance that those numbers are much closer.
Well,
than
so
we
so
think.
there's a controversy within nuclear disaster studies about how many people have actually got cancer after Fukushima or Chernobyl or what have you. And I'm on the more conservative end. The more we don't have to get into it, but there's a lot of numbers that if you were just being scientific, health physics minded about it, the number of people that died after Chernobyl as a result of long-term cancer and Fukushima after long-term cancer is probably around 0.
Really?
Yeah,
Like just
that's a
from-
conservative interpretation of the numbers.
So you're saying like people on the outside of the event?
Outside of so 28 men and women died inside of Chernobyl
That makes
during the explosion and during the immediate cleanup. Some
Right.
got horrible radiation
Yeah.
poisoning, but after that,
Even the people that were a part of the cleanup process and stuff, there was not a whole lot.
yes, because from a health physics standpoint, what you do is when you send in a liquidator or a cleaner, you give them a time limit. You say, I know how much radiation's in there. I know how much dose is bad. you have 2 minutes.
Right.
And one of the chilling things that
I
I don't know
a
if,
job that you only have to work 2 minutes a day.
yeah, but
You
think,
get paid
no, but
for,
think
like,
about
the
this.
whole year?
Think about this. I don't know if this is apocryphal or not, but one of the most chilling things I ever heard about Chernobyl was when they were telling the liquidators to go up onto the roof and clean off like literal pieces of fuel. They said you have a choice. You can either go to Afghanistan and fight for 2 years, or you can go on this roof for 2 minutes.
Can I go on this roof for 2 years?
No, you can't.
Oh.
No. My point being,
I think I would go to Afghanistan. I'm not gonna lie.
no. Guys, I think you're. The point is that the Soviets deemed those equivalent risk.
Right.
That's how crazy it was inside
I'm
of
not
the
sure
plane.
how much I would trust the entity that allowed the accident to happen to give me solid.
Well, someone's got to clean it up.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't have all of your workers immediately die. It's not like they're just going to throw bodies into it. But so you have time. The thing you remember is TDS, time distance shielding. As
Yeah.
long as you're not there for your minimum amount of time, maximum amount of distance away, maximum amount of shit in between you.
So you're telling me that there's been like no statistically significant rates of cancer increase in that area?
Yes.
I believe
So
it.
what about the not conservative?
I can't
What's
prove
like
that you're
the
wrong.
highest
Not-
rate?
Not conservative side.
I'll
Not
just-
conservative side. The people who there's two schools of thought on radiation damage. One is linear, no threshold. So think of an XY graph.
Yeah.
So they would say
Totally cumulative.
yes.
Yeah,
and,
no
and-
safe dose.
exactly, and that it starts at the origin of 0. Anything above that is potentially bad.
That's why cigarettes are legal, right?
That is
'Cause they're
what
safe.
that is what most governments, most regulatory agencies use because people are afraid of radiation. What has been vastly more scientifically validated is the threshold model, which is to say below a certain dose your body can deal with it.
So it's like statistically significant. Like if it's not enough damage, you can overcome the damage. But if you go above a certain
and
amount
we
of
know
damage,
this is possible because we're getting irradiated every second of every day by cosmic
so
rays.
it's basically
by-
like
radon,
repair.
by.
That's why it took
No,
so long
exactly.
to climb out of the ocean.
No, exactly.
Right.
And no,
I'm going back
he's
in the
right.
ocean.
He's right. No, DNA repair,
Yeah.
that's a thing. We wouldn't have evolved without DNA
Right.
repair because cosmic rays, UV radiation from the sun. And so if you go even further, there's another theory called hormesis, which is to say there's even a benefit to a little bit of radiation because it activates some of those repair mechanisms in the body. Similarly to like how slight starvation can like kind of activate some like different things in the body.
No, I've heard like studies before where it's like these people they were like living in an apartment complex made with sand in
Radioactive
concrete.
asbestos.
Something like that.
No, like, a lot of uranium ore in the.
Something like that, yeah. And they were actually like the rates of cancer for people that lived in that apartment was like lower than average.
Yeah. So there's things.
Yeah.
So there's things like that. So when you were talking about what is the difference between like the conservative and non-conservative, the people who are.
You found it? That's the one. There was also the one in Russia where there was like an orphan source inside of the walls, and
Yes,
everybody that lived
that-
in that room got leukemia.
I'm gonna make a video about that one.
Yeah.
Because that's terrifying. But so when you're saying what's the difference between like 0 and why some people say after Chernobyl there was 40,000 cancers?
Yeah.
It's because they are taking those tiny numbers and extrapolating them. We don't have the actual health data. They are saying from a no threshold perspective, we would expect 40,000. But that is ignoring if there's a threshold. So those are the two. That's how you can get wildly different numbers. So I lean more towards threshold and hormesis because it seems more scientifically validated and just evolutionarily makes sense. And so that's why I tend towards the lower numbers. And even if there was 40,000 cases of cancer after Chernobyl, that is eclipsed by 1 year on United States rates. I mean, it's still not even the same universe as fossil fuel related deaths. It's just not even close.
It's funny that people will focus so much on the deaths of that scale and then completely ignore the things that are completely unnecessary in society. Alcohol, totally okay.
And
Sensational
that's 40,000
death
also
versus
over a
mundane
lifetime,
death.
over years.
Yes. No, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like like all at
It's
once.
that's why,
how like if we're that worried about radiation death and like worst case scenario is like 40,000, how come no one gives a shit about the stuff we have total control
Yeah,
over?
get more of the lead out of our gasoline and stuff like. Yeah, no, it's
and
exactly.
into our water.
Into the pipes. No, exactly. That's why what you said, Kevin. When you read some of these studies, like from Fukushima, they were very granular about it. It's like we could have, since it takes like 20 years for cancer to develop, we could have let old people back into their homes, even if the rates were too high.
Right, because they're gonna.
If they're 70.
It's like asbestos.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
once you're over 30, you're gonna die of natural
Yeah,
causes
and
anyway.
so-
Or is it 40? we don't want to give wrong information out. in case someone
it's-
else like,
Oh, by the way, Jane Goodall. Oh man,
Yeah,
you were so
the
off
risk
base
of,
there.
the risk of cancer from asbestos. There is a graph you can find somewhere of age of exposure and cancer onset. It goes down dramatically after
Well,
40.
so-
because
so
after
by
40,
then-
you're basically immune
yeah,
to
you're
asbestos.
because something else is gonna kill you first.
Well, so it's a hard cost benefit discussion to have, but it's true, right? I mean, is it more worth it to let an old person stay in their home in their village, keep living their life, or move them to a stadium on a cot for 10 years? What is actually more harmful?
If we got.
not where I was going.
Because they're
Get 'em
really
off the
bad.
road.
Get them off the road.
I mean, that's
people. The actual number of people going.
if you lowered the if you made no sir,
Well, you know what? We can't take their license away.
no if you made the restriction on license, you would save an
Yes.
X
Oh,
amount
yeah.
of lives.
Right,
but we don't. do
Nobody
that.
wants to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to drive their stinky parents around when they're like 90 years old.
They get to keep their license, but only if they help clean up nuclear
But
disasters.
they have to drive at least 55 miles an hour at all times.
You also have to reverse the gas and the brake
They
pedal.
do stuff like they do
just to
stuff
make
like
sure
that
they're
in
still
Japan.
sharp.
Oh,
the
right,
steering
because
wheel's back.
they
Yeah.
had like the people volunteer at Fukushima.
They have
knew they were gonna
because
die.
they're very detail oriented. They know the statistics and the health physics and stuff like that. But circling back on all of this, I just want people to realize that we make these cost benefits for everything all the time. If we decreased all of the speed limits on United States roads, we would save X thousand people a year.
Yeah, but
we
that's so
wait,
slow.
I know.
Yeah, let's kill more people. Let's go faster.
No, but we decided.
Yeah.
We decided that's okay.
I think we need to reevaluate.
What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that we decided about the fossil fuel pollution, and we all decided it's okay, and it's not in the context of nuclear power. It's not tenable long term. It's if you have something better that's way stronger, way safer, way more energy dense, you have to reckon with the numbers. That's my point. It's like if you actually look at what is killing people, the argument becomes much stronger.
Almost everyone
Yeah, numbers don't really
nuclear
matter.
has had the worst PR campaign of any industry in the history of industry.
I can't believe that. Like,
So
we're
I
still having
don't
this
I don't
conversation,
blame
you know?
people, but at
About
the same
nuclear?
time it's
like
just,
as a society.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's why I think
it's
that
been an
people are just
incredibly
stupid.
durable
Yeah.
fear. It's been a very durable fear. It's unfortunately it's been punctuated like every decade or so by something new.
What about like what is the order of magnitude of things you should be afraid of? Like if
Nuclear
you're
war.
afraid of nuclear,
Nuclear
what
war.
should you also be afraid of that you're not? Like is it driving? Is it cigarettes? Like if we were to sort of
What if-
compare the
I have
scale.
a pitch. What if
Compare
we
the
just,
scale. I mean, I'd be more afraid of a shark attack, to be honest.
What if we just made sure that there were like way more nuclear accidents? What if we just made sure there was
What?
like 100 nuclear accidents a year? Then it would become mundane. No
Yes.
one would give a
Yeah.
shit
I
if
mean-
there
And
was a
everybody
nuclear
would know.
accident like every couple of days on the news. By the first month in, no one would give a shit anymore. If you just made sure you had 100 meltdowns around the world every year.
Everyone's like, oh my god, I get it.
That's my pitch.
I mean, you still
Stop making it happen every 10 years. That's too infrequent. Become special. Make sure it happens
did not
every
expect this
couple of
take.
days.
Did not
Eh?
expect that take. No.
But, I mean,
we need
think
people
about
to
it.
pivot back to birds getting chopped up by wind turbines more exciting than nuclear.
Think about it.
Yeah. No, okay, Tucker.
I think you could literally
Just ask good questions.
I think you could net kill more people a year with nuclear and make it proportionately less scary by killing more people.
Yeah.
Well, when you say the proportion, it's like there's a moral argument that for every year you don't have more nuclear power plants, that means you're not saving X people.
So you get to kill that amount of
Okay.
to that amount of people to make nuclear more popular, and that's morally equivalent. Like that's okay. It's out.
Yeah,
It's always
that's what in Washington. That's what that's what I told the DOD. And he's like,
just kill that amount of people in like forced nuclear accidents to make sure there's one every day.
no, I'm not a nuclear physicist, but I've become like the YouTube nuclear guy
Yeah.
because I make so many videos about
Which
it.
in many ways, people will listen to you more than actual nuclear physicists.
That's I think that's interesting. That's why I lean into it.
honestly would not want to listen to a nuclear physicist because they'd be talking about.
No, and well, now we're just what. That's just that's the difficulty of science communication in the first place, where people watch us because the smartest person in the world is boring as shit.
Yeah.
Like a Nobel Prize winner probably is not great at telling great stories. There's only a couple people like a Richard Feynman who's great at that, but other than that, yeah, it's hard to get good information out there.
Or Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I really like my idea of killing more people to save more people.
I think we should make the turbines spin faster
Yeah.
and then put like
Nice.
bird breeding grounds all around that. And then webcams and like some sort of betting system where you can bet on which turbine's gonna hit a bird.
I mean,
next.
over time, you're just gonna like encourage
forced
the
to-
birds
yeah.
to evolve to be able
Yeah.
to avoid the blades better.
They're gonna be like really
Selective breeding.
I think part of the
Incorporating
problem.
like steel into their bones.
Pretty soon the blades get more damage from the bird.
The birds increase their density, so they just fly through them.
We did not expect this at all. Super birds.
Oh no! I think part of the problem is that nuclear is like a black box. You see it from afar behind a fence, and you're like,
Just
okay,
won't let you go
it
up
just
there.
happens. But like a wind turbine, you're like, oh, I get
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That makes sense. You know, or a photovoltaic, you can see that. So I think there's something the industry can do better too, just from a branding perspective. That's just seems less menacing and mysterious and all that. Like no, and this is the Simpsons' fault, I think. But no one knows what a cooling tower actually is.
Well, it's not
the most
cartoon.
No, it is. It's the
Okay.
most iconic image
That's
of
where
a
they
nuclear
pump
power
out
plant.
radiation into the atmosphere, right?
That's where chemtrails are born.
Yeah.
So that's what I think the average person would say.
Yeah.
Something about radiation. But in actuality, every single cooling system in every single nuclear power plant is isolated.
It's not connected.
Such a steam coming.
They're either separate loops or they're two separate loops.
Oh, like a double.
So it's a heat exchange from the nuclear stuff and gets cooled in the tower. It's just a cross current heat exchange. But everyone thinks that it's something that, right? What's that smoke coming out of it? That smoke is water vapor. You could stand it and be fine. And it's not even that hot.
Wow.
No, you could. And
How hot is it?
Well, it's not. By the time it comes out, it's not all that hot. But that discrepancy between what the public thinks and what it actually is the problem. Right.
How many people got that?
Like a year.
How many people graduated?
How do you know that?
You know a lot of numbers.
things.
What do you mean?
Okay,
How would you know?
right,
You know all
Jesus.
these fucking numbers.
I didn't know I was supposed to be the smart guy here today.
Well, what the hell are we?
Yeah. Come on, you thought that was gonna be us?
The dropout rate in California, that's probably a pretty low number.
That
It's
seems-
almost 10%.
That seems low.
Really?
I guess, I mean, I was never that close to
So if that number
5%.
is good at all, then 10% of people drop out of high school. I mean, that's like a pretty big. And how many of those people that finish high school?
Well, I'm not. I don't blame this problem on people being dumb. I've never in my communication career, I never approach it from the just like, oh, they're stupid. It's there's so many factors that lead to just not knowing something or consuming media that has a, like The Simpsons, that has a weird portrayal of something. I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else. I just have other things that I know that I can. And once you know those things,
people are maybe less likely to try to understand something.
100%.
Just sort of listen to.
100%.
Like Fallout. As a show, probably doesn't do good things publicity-wise for.
yeah, no, that's
The
it.
Simpsons.
I wonder.
The whole
I wonder.
fucking intro with the green rods glowing.
Yeah, that
doesn't do
ruined
good
that.
things.
That I think created the green goo kind of trope. That originally came from Undar.
Does Mr. Burns, the evil owner of,
No,
of
exactly.
a nuclear power plant?
Yeah. No, I actually wonder about the Fallout. Because there's bombs at the beginning.
100%.
And it's about, I don't know.
It makes
I
you
don't
immortal.
know. No,
Makes you immortal.
because it's giving a fun kind of goofy valence to
Yeah.
the whole thing. It's not like it's not like
Cartoonifying it almost.
yeah. So and people love the series.
Right.
So I don't know if it's an anti-nuclear thing, and the show isn't anti-nuclear, nuclear power. What it is anti-nuclear war. As if anything would confuse people about my position, is that I'm very pro-nuclear power and very anti-nuclear.
How is that
weapons.
confusing?
Because
for
because people think the two go together.
Mm.
No, no. This is a real thing. People are like, well, if you have a nuclear power plant, could you make a bomb out of it in my town? Could
Yeah.
a terrorist come into a power plant and make a nuclear bomb? that is a legitimate question that people have.
I think the answer technically is
I take it
probably
back. I
yes.
think some people are kind of stupid.
I think everyone's really stupid.
Not real. I mean,
They just haven't had the chance. To
they
learn.
both have uranium
They
fuel.
don't want to learn. That's why I think they're.
Well, they both have uranium fuel, but the fuel is not enriched to the same quality. It's not in the right configuration or shape. You don't have the same engineering stuff there. You don't have the casing, the charges. You don't have any of that. It'd be much easier to just break into a
probably do something. I think this is like the comical part. Is like a nuclear bomb is
you're
bad.
you're gonna
but
describe
taking
a dirty
nuclear,
bomb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but fucking what?
Yeah.
They're both horrible.
Not,
Like, you could
I
do-
would argue that a nuclear bomb is orders of magnitude worse.
You don't
but,
think you
but
could
yes,
do like
it is,
a massive amount of? You could probably take out
And that's
an
what-
insane number of people with very little effort.
That's what the
using-
DoD said.
Is that
too.
actually what a dirty bomb is? You just blow up
Yeah.
radioactive material
Yeah.
and spread it around.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a genius.
Has that ever happened? Has anyone? That's never actually happened, right?
Yeah,
Like,
because
in
no one
reality.
actually has.
No,
any
because the
intention.
control of nuclear material is highly regulated. But the DoD told me like that is a non-trivial concern. Like when you have a lot of power plants and you're transporting fuel and stuff, that's non-trivial. Yes, fuel can be dangerous. You have to keep it locked down. But it's not the same thing. As,
You cannot
as
just go into a nuclear power plant and steal their fuel.
No.
Like,
No.
Like-
no.
like,
Many
no.
people with M16s were shepherding me through my visit. You can't even get anywhere near anything without being shot in the face. But the actual thing, there are nuclear submarines off of our coast right now that we can't detect.
Right.
That have about 90 nuclear warheads on them. Each
That's
one,
like some paranoid schizophrenic shit.
No, this is we know
US
this
is
is
just
true.
like, they're coming for us.
No, we know this is true. And
we're coming for you.
any one of these warheads going off would obliterate the entire city in milliseconds. That is the problem.
I think there's
Nuclear
like,
fuel is not the problem. The problem is that it's easier to locate a softball in orbit than it is to locate a nuclear submarine off of the coast of California. And we know that they're there, and we know that the Russian subs are there, and we know that they have missiles pointed at every major city in the United States right now.
Why the
And it has
cities?
been that way
keep
for
it-
decades, and we have all just said, fine, mutually assured destruction. It is insane. It is
Like,
absolutely insane.
I'm at the point
We
where
are-
I'm just
how
like,
the
get over
system
it.
has
Just
worked
just
for
do it,
decades.
pussy.
No,
Just
there-
fucking
rebuild
do
Los
it.
Angeles
No,
into
there-
an actual functioning
there's-
Yeah,
city.
we can actually make functioning
I'm
traffic.
getting,
want
you can tell I'm getting
trains.
fired up about it. There's a new book that just came out that talked to over 100 experts in like the proliferation field,
I'm trained
and
to
they
build.
said the time it would take from missiles being fired to more or less the collapse of civilization is about 45 minutes.
Do you think that if they shot a
That
missile
should be
at
an
Los
insane
Angeles,
number
it
to
would
me.
hit us here? Do you think it would hit us here if they blew up LA? I think it'd be pretty
what,
close.
in
No,
Camarillo?
it wouldn't go that. I mean, we're 50 miles out. I mean, no bomb's radius is that big.
There is a
Um,
military base right over there.
But once every once every doctor is on fire and all of your food is gone, it's not much longer until everything is chaos and
Would
everyone
TikTok
dies.
still work on
But
your
I've got
phone? How long
400
would
pounds
TikTok
of
work?
rice buried in a shipping container, Kyle. My arm is falling off and I'm bleeding to death, but don't worry, the rice is sucking up.
I don't
And
think it
there's
would be
and
that
there's no more
bad.
power
I
and
don't
there's
think it
no
would
more
turn into
internet and there's no
Fallout.
more phones and everybody.
It would be nice. I don't think it would be that bad. I don't think it would be like Fallout makes it seem like.
Kevin's follow-up. I think the instant you can't
optimistic.
go to a doctor to fix your.
Well, I mean, yeah,
your-
that's going to be bad. But I don't think
you're
everyone's going to
optimistic
turn
about a
on each
full
other.
nuclear exchange with Russia.
I'm about the spirit of the American people. I don't think they're
Yeah.
going to turn and kill and murder each other.
I think
There
that-
won't
that's
be
the
people
first-
to kill and murder each other. We're talking about 200 million people vaporized within the first hour.
Yeah, well, that
And then
only
after that-
50% of the people live in cities. So you know
Yeah.
what?
No more
I
traffic.
think no more traffic. That's gonna
No
be
more
good.
Democrats.
cars on
No
the-
more
on the
Democrats.
roads.
No more
There's
roads.
gas.
No more
No
Democrats.
more roads, no more Republicans, no more Democrats, no more liberals, no more
Only
conservatives.
TikTok. Only the TikTok
the
servers.
Zoomers or something. I don't know. Maybe they're
You
like
trade TikToks. It's like-
Wait, would there be enough time? Okay.
yeah,
You have to
yeah.
do it
You
in real
can find a
life,
phone
though.
with like some
Hold
cash
on,
TikToks.
hold on. So nuclear war breaks out. Like TikTok is going to go away, right?
no,
Like, the servers.
no. TikTok's like a cockroach, dude.
So, but like, what is the period
They're
of
gonna
time?
they're gonna EMP all of our power grids to start off.
Like,
We're literally gonna
Everything's gonna go out.
TikTok.
like, so there's
everything's
no
gonna go
period,
out.
There's no period of time where like nuclear war starts, but there's a window where like
it was
people can
supposed-
still put
like
TikToks
a
up on
mesh
TikTok.
network.
Like,
It's so
oh
much easier to
shit,
compete.
nuclear war's happening. Like, is there a window of time where that could happen, where people could upload?
There's a slight.
Yes, that's all I wanted
Fortnite
to
dancing
know.
in front of a nuclear cloud.
No, it's like the nuclear shadow somebody lost it, like burned onto the wall.
I would love
That's
to
the worst
see
thing I've ever heard.
the
That's the
20
worst
minutes.
thing. That's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
Where you took a known phenomenon of Japanese people being etched onto concrete and you turned it into a TikTok dance. Oh
yeah,
my
someone's
god.
flossing
bad.
and they, you know.
So bad.
I think that.
Oh my god.
If
It really says something about our current society.
That's all about you.
We live in a society.
Why do you? Man, I don't know about Japan. I mean, like, I didn't make
generally?
I didn't make the connection of people being burned by
that one's
their atomic
real, right?
bombs.
Japan
That's the reason
is
you
real.
know that.
I think so.
Maybe.
No, we
might be.
can't do this. No, we did this
All right,
with like
wait,
fucking
wait.
Norway last time. We can't.
What did we say about Norway?
That
last
does
time?
not exist.
No, that.
Who's
Okay, anyway.
Norway doesn't exist.
Have you heard about the new beta? Have you heard about the volt batteries?
The nuclear waste one?
No, they're made with like it's like a little miniature thing that uses like beta radiation, and they're supposed to be able to like is that a little waste?
Part of the idea is
Sandwich between diamond from wafers or something.
Yeah. The part of the idea is to just use low-level radioactive material, maybe waste material that's no longer good to be inside the reactor. And we just use that small amount of radiation in like wafer forms and get an electric potential and make a tiny little battery.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I want a
cannot wait.
TV remote that literally will work
It
forever.
will. Yeah, I know.
And then every
Most-
year when I buy a new TV, I throw it in a landfill.
Right. Most burn it in a fireplace.
Most nuclear fuel is recycled, which people don't. Again,
These-
again,
yeah, that's the
don't
only
know.
problem with these.
People
is-
don't know.
Oh god.
But-
People
also-
throw away like lipos in their disposable vapes. I cannot imagine.
You ever see like the trash can, like truck on fire, just like going
Yeah.
down the street?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I worry about, just having orphan sources everywhere.
So many
but I don't think
orphans.
if it's going to be commercialized like that, I doubt it's radioactive enough to be an actual health hazard.
I think it only makes like 10 microwatts.
Yeah, it's
per
almost nothing. We're talking about
They said they
very,
can beef
very
it up
low
to
level.
like a whole amp or something,
That-
like a whole lot.
Well, I mean,
a lot.
we know what it is at high level. High levels are heart tissues.
Yeah.
The radioisotope thermal generators, which is just a big chunk of plutonium that gets so hot that the heat differential is
That's not with this battery.
no. Well, it's the smallest version.
No, I think this one actually uses the like electrons directly.
Oh, like like
Yeah.
the photoelectric effect. Yeah, you're right. So what I was saying is a thermal effect,
yeah,
and,
like
and
as-
that's an
as a
electric
big-
effect. But the big ones you put on like space probes, and it's just a big hunk of hot rock that creates a small electric potential for a long time. And but can also
That's how I know we'll finally evolve as a society when we can like be trusted with little radio.
we try to sell, we like sell cigarettes to children. We're never gonna get to tiny people.
People, when they don't need it anymore, they would take it to Best Buy, drop it in the bin.
They would feed them the seagulls.
The seagulls were freaking so strong.
they bioaccumulate them too. So
They would
they get like
bio-
a bunch of them inside there, and they're just
Yeah.
it becomes like a fuel pellet in there. And you just have radioactive birds flying
And
around.
then what's the term for the that when it gets concentrated enough where it can start fusing for a second?
It goes critical.
Yeah. Seagull
critical
goes
mass
critical.
of a
Yeah.
And suddenly,
You feed it
you're
enough
just
like radiation.
Dude, it's like real life Pokemon.
nice day at the beach, isn't it, Timmy? Yeah. It's
People are just like they're little bastards.
Seagull, you self-destruct.
It works so much better than rice and Alka-Seltzer.
that's what Voltorb did. I think a small. He went critical. He was an orb anyway.
That's kind of a dark thing for a children's show, and they never really explain how it comes like back to life.
Yeah.
Like actually,
He just sits there kind of like fried and like.
Yeah. He's got like the little smoke lines coming off.
Yeah,
of
he
him.
does. It doesn't. They don't die. They just get knocked out.
They go to
Pokemon
sleep.
never die. in
Right,
the fight.
hence
They
the
get
self-destruct.
knocked out.
There's Joy can knock me out.
I feel like any nuclear like society is not going to fall apart from any like nuclear disaster. I think like nuclear is like
not
cutting,
not like a meltdown,
but even
from,
like a
from
bomb.
a nuclear exchange.
But it's
yeah.
like you're cutting somebody's arm off. I think there's other things that are way more likely.
I've read papers that a single tactical nuclear weapon in a major American city
Yes.
would be literally the worst thing that's ever happened.
What is the likelihood of that? Actually?
Oh, yeah, it would be.
Higher than you want.
Like, but what? Like, look
Much,
at
much,
everything else
much
around
Worse,
us.
worse than the two that we dropped in Japan.
Yeah, no. Think
better
about
now.
think about what if Manhattan was
That's the
obliterated.
problem with engineers. They just keep trying to make shit better.
What if Manhattan was obliterated in a second? I'll cut to the chase here. The knock-on effects on the economy.
Shareholders.
Yeah.
Real estate.
No, you're right. The knock-on effects
The
have
economy would be in shambles.
been. Yes.
My 401k?
What 401k, Kevin?
They're laughing about something serious that I'm trying to say.
It's just New York.
Which
They probably agree.
Honestly,
the knock-on effects of that has been estimated in the trillions and would cause an immediate recession, depression, famine, all of this knock-on shit, and like a single bomb would do that in a major city.
I think we could.
And we
knock
have
out every bomb
thousands
that
of
they
these.
threw at us.
We have thousands of these.
I bet we could.
I
think we
No, not with
ICBMs, hypervelocity.
not with like an
BRCs?
an orbital platform is too fast to get into.
Like based in like nukes already in space.
Well, right now we have a system in place that is in geosynchronous orbit with every nuclear launch site in Russia that can detect a nuclear launch from its rocket exhaust plume within 1 second. Well, it's cool, but that should tell you how fucking close we are to annihilating this.
it's like the entire world is like preloaded, like the world's most dangerous crap, and
Yes.
it's like it's above everyone's head. It's like if you could see how much energy was in this spring-loaded crap.
They call it the dead man's hand.
Like imagine it's like a saw trap. Like we're walking around with this thing around our neck that has like a car
and,
coil spring.
and everyone's forgotten. And everyone's forgotten about it.
Well, you
That's
don't
the
see it.
problem.
That's like that's the problem.
That's the problem. And that's
Like I feel safer having that radioactive material in a power plant than a missile that's capable of landing. Like
Yes.
is that the crazy part? Everyone's like, oh, the thing that is being designed to try to make radiation safe is what I'm scared of, not the thing that's literally designed to make radiation dangerous.
Also, why do they want to nuke cities? You know what? Keep it between yourselves. Nuke Washington.
Oklahoma or some shit?
Yeah.
Or why don't we send it to Norway since we're
Yeah,
saying
but I
that
don't,
exists
I
now?
don't care. I don't care about your stupid fight. Just bomb the bases.
so you bring up another really complicated moral thing. Not to get too serious, but in that book I was mentioning, we don't have ICBMs that. So let's say North Korea
Sure.
launched a nuclear strike against us.
Yeah.
We want to hit them back, right? Or that's an insane thing to do. In some moral
What if
respect.
they didn't?
No, but wait.
Your brother throws a stick at you, so you punch him.
Wait,
You
throw it.
You
Wait.
like run him over.
I
I know what you're saying.
No. We don't have ICBMs that can hit North Korea
Yes.
without flying over. So now when you say, well, just have your war, leave us out of it. Think of how hard it will be for us to go to Russia and say, hey,
Don't
see all those
worry.
bombs flying over your
Not
country
going
right
to
now? Definitely not going to hit you.
No way.
Definitely not going to hit you. Don't worry about it.
Well, they would go up over, right?
Yes, they would
over
have
north.
to go over Russia. And so you can easily think of scenarios where it's like, oh, just mind your business, but you can't. Because the stake is your civilization ends.
Okay, I have a question.
You can't
If
take
there's
you
an
can't take
probably
ICBM,
couldn't
a
hit us.
nuclear bomb that's going to be sent somewhere, like
can
we're going
hit
to bomb somebody,
now they can?
what meme would you spray paint on?
Oh man. Where's it going?
Nyan Cat?
I mean, Russia, North Korea. Norway.
I mean, we used to doodle on the bombs that were dropping on Germany and stuff like that. Like, this one, deliver to Hitler.
Yeah.
I mean, people would do it.
I mean, you can donate money to Ukraine or whatever.
And they'll put-
a
yeah.
meme on it? Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I have some of that. I have some of that meme merchandise of the pro-Ukraine like meme.
Oh, really?
Like the Shiba Inu guy who's like sending with
yeah,
like a
what's his-
HIMARS system.
Yeah, the
and shit,
HIMARS
I
guy.
would put for rectal use only.
They call them the fellas.
Fucking new.
Yeah, the fellas.
The
Yeah.
fellas.
Yeah, no, I have some Saint Javelin merch.
I think like the whole nuke thing is so stupid because there's so many things that are like maybe less dangerous but much higher likelihood of happening or already happening.
Yeah.
I do feel like the AI progression is probably much more dangerous than people realize.
I agree.
And it's like that's like a disease. That's like actually having like an incurable disease.
Yeah, nuclear power isn't even on my list.
It's
I
like
mean,
nuclear power is like getting in a car accident.
I have a top 3. I mean, existentially, it's nuclear weapons, AI, and then synthetic pandemics for me. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not even in that universe, I don't care because those
I think
things could
AI
wipe
might
us
be at
out.
the top though, because AI is going to propagate and manipulate everything underneath it.
Yeah, but it doesn't right now have the potential to end civilization within an hour.
Yeah, but I think that this is like a 10, 15, 20
No, I
year,
totally
yeah.
agree.
Like,
I
it's
think-
going to be like a slow bleed.
I think
of-
we're gonna look back and see that deciding to release ChatGPT to 100 million people off a whim was probably one of the biggest mistakes we've ever
I
made.
love being
cannot-
a part of
I
that.
cannot believe there's not more regulation. And everybody be like, well, ChatGPT does
No,
this."
it's absolutely
no,
insane. It's
They- like,
absolutely insane that
it's-
happened.
Yes, like the fact that you can make songs that are indecipherable from real life to me is like this indication AI is much more capable. And the stuff that we haven't seen yet, or the stuff that's like, you know, like being worked on, or even like the fact that there is this problem, like this compute problem that everyone's trying to fix. Like so much money is getting poured into this thing that will only make our lives worse.
The incentive to make this insane is so much higher than the incentive.
Yes.
And you know, I don't want to.
Go for it.
Well,
Do it.
for the
Send
record,
it.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Edit it out later.
Well, I don't want to bring us down, but you know,
Broke was bad.
I do want to speak directly to you for a second, because when people are like, why is it so dangerous? What's the problem? Why can't I just have fun face filters and stuff like that?
You can have fun.
What I would say to someone like you, I was just outside, beautiful newborn baby daughter.
Yeah.
What a cute kid. Because of AI and its proliferation right now, it is, and these apps already exist, it will be trivially easy for someone to make child pornography with a single photo that you post.
I think it's already happening.
With a single photo,
Yeah.
they can age up your baby
Yeah.
and then make explicit pornography
Yeah.
and then make 1 billion copies of it and then have it live forever on bots.
Yeah.
That is the kind of stuff that we're ignoring
Yeah.
for the fun stuff.
Yes.
And that's not even the worst thing that I can think of.
I
And
think it
given that it's
literally
completely
already-
unregulated,
Yeah.
is I think
I do
it's
not
insanity.
trust anybody that's
think
in
it's
charge of
insanity.
anything right now to make the correct decision on how to make sure that it does
You
not
think
get
Elon
to that
Musk
point.
is going to shitpost his way out
He's
of
going
this?
to be the first person that turns babies into porn.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I feel like
Yeah,
I did not say the worst
It should
thing today?
it should offend you. I want it to offend you. I want it. It should gross you out. It should scare you.
Yeah,
that's the
did you
point.
I feel like
Did you see
that's
the one-
basically like fear mongering though. At this point, I feel like it's like the video games cause.
No, I hear that a lot. The issue is scale and
Yeah.
scope. AI, you would be right
If it was stuck here,
making a Polaroid versus drawing a pony. I'm talking about bringing a machine gun to a fucking knife.
yeah.
I could do this for free in seconds at a scale
You
that would
won't-
take a
yeah.
person 100 years.
You won't
to
even be doing it, though. I think that's
No,
the
exactly.
problem. Is it will be completely automated. Like the entire system
the scope will be so big, it will be uncontained.
can't comprehend it.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying a lot of people like me do fear mongering, but that's because I see the potential scale of the problem and it terrifies me.
I mean,
Where
we're on a
already,
podcast, that's good. I should go as far as you think.
well, like even just like 2 months ago, I made a video and then within a week, I saw a headline like authorities struggling to contain AI child pornography on popular websites. Like it.
Like I like
This is
the
this is
title,
happening-
and then what that room of people looks like is just a bunch of old fuckers who have
Yeah.
no idea what's
Yeah,
happening.
Oh yeah.
Like they're just
For
like,
sure.
like the other day we were talking about when Michael and I got visited by the FBI. They told us to call them, talk to the local police department, tell them that there's like a high likelihood target use. And we call the police department. They're like, "What crime was committed?" And we're like, "I was out." And they're like, "What do? You make videos?" And it's like, "Yeah, and this happened, blah blah blah." And they were like, "Oh well, I don't like people watch these videos. I don't understand." Like, and I'm like, we're actually straight up gonna die. Like,
Yeah,
we're
okay.
gonna die, and it's gonna be the police. That
I
kill
just
us.
changed my list of fears. It was asteroids, aliens, and then false vacuum, and I think police go on that
Yeah,
list.
police at the top.
Yeah.
False vacuum
False
is a
vacuum,
hell of a
you
one
go,
to put up
you
there.
you go real quick.
Come,
I'd be way
come
more
out of
afraid.
nowhere, bro. Just gone.
Hey, wouldn't you rather that than have the
Yeah,
have
that's
a
not like
Fallout
a fearful
situation?
thing. That's
I at least want to
fine.
see the nuclear fireball.
False vacuum is like basically reality just kind of instantly ends
Oh,
because
that's easy.
Like
Right,
yeah,
that's
it's
super
like
easy.
the mass of the Higgs boson changes.
Just all die in our
low
sleep,
energy
effectively.
level. Yeah, everything would just disappear instantly. You wouldn't even notice.
I think
Have
we
you seen
take.
Three Body Problem?
The only thing that we care about is the change in our consciousness. a movement from less suffering to more suffering. That's all we care about. So if it happens instantaneously, we can't be positive.
Send it, gamers. Cowards.
Send it, gamers. No, I'm with you. I am more on the doer side of AI, where it does. I'm also on the record. Like, if anything is going to find a cure for cancer or something like that, from big data or something, AI is going to.
If there's anything that's going to introduce a new cancer, it's going to be AI.
But I can think of so many other worse outcomes than potentially good ones. And maybe that's just me being naive, or I'm not thinking about it all the way through. But it's either way, we're not being cautious enough.
Did you see the news story recently of the like physical administration or physical education administrator at some school somewhere that made a AI phone call conversation or a mobile device like principal or something. It was another factor, and they basically fired or put on leave the person that had the fake phone call, the fake phone call made up.
Yeah.
And then it took weeks for them to finally figure out that it was fake, and then they intercepted him as he was traveling at an airport. And I like everybody believed it. Like news agencies published it. Like everybody, if you listen to it, it says it sounds so real. Like I think what they must have done, it was very clever. He must have generated it. I don't know how he did it because it had some emotional ups and downs, but the verbiage was just a little bit too absurd in a couple of spots where you're like, it feels like somebody, it's almost like a kid saying something on Xbox Live.
Still
just
an
to say
uncanny
something.
valley.
So what exactly happened? It was some guy
It
trying
was,
to get
they released, it was submitted to journalists and a couple of students, they leaked it to students, a recording of a faculty member, maybe the principal or someone at the school saying bad things about students, kind of like racist shit. And somebody recorded it on a phone, and then
somebody got the secret recording.
Somebody got the secret recording, and there was a layer of obscuring it. I think that it was an audio file placed in a secret and was recorded from a couple, maybe 10, 15 feet away to give it that distant sort of.
They were sitting in on this conversation.
Yes, almost recording it under a door or something.